Hey beauties, good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. You're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Winnie. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to make an exaggerated hip dress, but I'm going to be focusing on the exaggerated hip and I'm going to be teaching you how to achieve it. So if this is what you love to learn, definitely keep on watching, like my videos, share with your family and friends, and without too much talking, let's get to the honey of the video. Let's go. I love you. Hey beauty, welcome to my channel. So we are going to be drafting the pattern first. If you are seeing a difference, and this is actually my student's classwork, so we decided to film a tutorial too, so that is why she's the one marking out things, but you also be seeing my hand once in a while, so I'll be putting that through. Yeah, that's it. So now the first thing she's marking out is the hip line, and then she's marking out the block. Now that is our hip divided by 4 plus extra 5 inches. All right, so the next thing she's going to mark is the full length of the skirt. So this is going to be a gown, that is why she's taking some parts up. That is the half length. She's removing the half length and using the remaining tape to just calculate the full length of the skirt. All right, so now this line that she's drawing is the block she created, and we achieved that by measuring the hip divided by 4 plus 5 inches. So don't forget that she already marked out the hip line, and then that upper part is going to be the waistline, and this part is going to be the full length. All right, so once all of that is done, the next thing to do is to mark our circumference. So our waist circumference divided by 4 plus allowance plus 2 inches allowance, that is what we have marked there. And then we'll go over to the hip. We'll also mark our hip divided by 4 plus 2 inches allowance. All right, so and then at the full length, you are just going to measure whatever you have at the hip side, and then you deduct 1 inch from that, and then you mark it. So the next thing you are going to do is to connect all these points together. All right, we are going to connect all these points together. So we are just going to be drafting this one pattern because I don't want us to waste paper. All right, so now for the exaggerated hip, we are just going to extend that hip point by about 1 inch. You can do 1.5 inches if you like, but 1 inch is just perfect. If you do 1.5 inches, it's going to be too big and you will not like it, so just extend it by 1 inch and connect that to the waistline, and you also connect that to the hip line that you drew earlier. You see, it's as simple as that. Honestly, there is no two way to this. This is just the simplest method to create an exaggerated hip that I've taught you. So the next thing now is to cut it out. We are going to be cutting it out, and then we are going to be cutting it on our fabric. So now we are going to be using this back part to cut out the pattern on our fabric. So when we want to cut the back part, we just add the allowance. All right, we just add the allowance, the zip allowance. We are going to add it manually, but first I'm cutting out the front first. We are cutting out the front part first, so you don't need to add any allowance. Don't forget that we've added all our allowances to paper. The 2 inches seam allowance is already added on the paper, so you don't need to add any other allowance. All right, so once you are done cutting, you are going to cut the back part also. So what I did here was that I'm going to move the back part forward. So it was not enough, so I went to join it, so that was what happened there. So you are going to just place your pattern on it like so. Make sure that at the center part of the back part, you've marked your 1.5 inches for seam allowance. All right, for zip allowance, sorry. So you mark your 1.5 inches for the zip allowance all the way down. So you are going to use that line as a guide to place your pattern. If you are new to my channel, you are welcome to the channel of beautiful people. On here we do everything DIY on garment making. Anything about garment making, that is what we do on this channel. So if you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe, like my video, share my videos with your family and friends, and please drop a like if this video was helpful. All right, thank you and God bless you as you do. So now I've placed my pattern on the 1.5 inches mark that I created, and now I'm going to just cut it out. I'm using my pattern to cut it out. I'm not going to be adding any allowance. All right, I'm just going to cut it as it is. So this is how you can use one pattern to cut out the front and the back of your dress. All right, just make sure that you cut the front, then you cut the back, adding the zip allowance manually. So I've gone ahead to cut out my lining. I'm going to cut 2 lining for the front, and you're also going to cut 2 lining for the back. So this is the interfacing that I'm going to be using. It's a medium soft stay. It's not hard. You can use a hard one if you want, but the client is not going to like it if it's very hard. So I'm going to be using this soft stay on it. All right, so I'm cutting out the back now, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut out the front part also. So I'm just trying to align it, and then I'm going to cut out the front. So when we are done cutting the front, I'm going to go ahead and use my iron to press that on top of the lining. So the second lining that you cut, you are just going to place it on top of your fabric. Because this is a lace fabric, we have to line it first before now adding the one that we put interfacing on. Hope you understand. So I'm just going to place it on top of it like this. I'll place it on the right side. I don't need to use the lining to turn the sides. I'll just hem the down part of the lining, which I've done here, and I'll flip it to the right side and place my lace on top of it like this, and then I'll just go and stitch it down all around. All right, and cut off the excess. So I'll do the same for the back. I'm going to hem the down part, and I'll also place my lace on the right side just like that. I don't need to use my lining to turn it. So I'll place my lace on the lining just like that, and then I'm going to stitch it all around. So once that was done, this is the second lining. I'm gonna to iron my interfacing on it, on the front and then on the back. So this is how we are going to be doing it. I've done this part. I've gone ahead to use the one with interfacing to turn out everything neatly, and this is how it's going to be looking like. So now to work on the ones that we've not done, for you to understand better, this is the one that we've lined. All right, so we are going to place the one with interfacing on top of it, right side facing right side, and then I am going to go ahead and sew the sides. Don't forget, this one is right side facing right side, and then I'm going to go ahead to sew the sides. All right, so I'm going to just use this lining with interfacing to turn the sides of the front. So after turning the side, if this line is longer than the main fabric, you can go ahead and turn it inside again. So I've gone ahead to sew the 2 sides, see, as you can see. So I'm just going to turn it inside out now, and this is what it's going to be looking like. It's going to be looking very neat and clean. All right, so this is it now. We've already lined it and we've already added our interfacing. If it's an Ankara fabric, you might not need to double the lining. You won't even need to double the lining, but because this is a lace fabric, that is why we are doubling the lining. And then I've gone ahead to do the same for the 2 back pieces also. So I'm just going to stitch the 2 lining down together at the down part before going ahead to place my back and front together, right side facing right side. So I'm going to stitch the lining at the down part together like so. I hope you saw that. And then once that is done, I added my darts. So I've added my darts to the front and to the back. So now the next thing you are going to do is to give it a very good press. You have to iron as you sew because you don't want it to be entering inside at the sides. All right, so you have to iron it, bring out all the edges and iron it properly. Bring out all the edges, iron it properly, iron it very well, and so that everything can lay clean and flat. All right, I always advise that anytime you are sewing, you should iron as you sew. It gives your clothes or your garment a perfect finish. You should do your darts, you iron it. You sew one part, you iron it immediately. It's going to give your dress that ready-made perfect look. All right, so once we are done ironing, the next thing is to join everything together. So I'm just going to sew my zip side first. I'm going to leave some space for my zip, then I'll chalk that, and then I'll go to the down part and leave some space for my slit and also chalk that. So the place that I chalked, that I left for my zip, and the place that I chalked for my slit, I'm just going to connect the 2 points together with 1 inch seam allowance. So that is what I'm going to do. And at the down part, at the sleeve slit area, I'm going to top stitch on it so that everything can lay down flat. So I'm going to sew that with 1 inch allowance. So once that is done, the next thing is to join the two sides together. I'm just trying to confirm the measurements, if everything is normal and I'm not losing any, any allowance. Right, I'm just trying to confirm that everything is fine. So this part, you are going to shape it. You are going to measure your waistline divided by 4, and then you are going to shape it. Then at the hip side, don't forget that it was only 1 inch that we added. All right, so you are going to add that 1 inch at the hip side only. If you are sewing with half inch from the top, at the hip side is going to be 1 inch. All right, so whatever you just left at the hip side is what you are going to add to it. If your hip is 44 and you divide it by 4, that's 11. Instead of you to mark 22 when you are shaping, you are going to mark 23. All right, so after joining everything and finishing up my dress, this was the final look. It looked very beautiful. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, give it a like. Until I see you in the next one, I love you and I care. Bye.